Look, it is a damnable offense to reject Jesus Christ. God says, I sent you prophets, but now I've sent you my son. What do you think I'm going to do to those who killed my son? Here in Hebrews chapter 10, the scripture says this: For if we go on sinning willfully after receiving the knowledge of the truth, there no longer remains a sacrifice for sins, but a terrifying expectation of judgment and the fury of a fire which will consume the adversaries. Anyone who has set aside the law of Moses dies without mercy by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. How much worse punishment do you think he will deserve who has trampled underfoot the Son of God and has regarded as defiled the blood of the covenant by which he was sanctified and has insulted the Spirit of grace? Well, Sam, that's not for God's people. Well, for we know him who said, vengeance is mine, I will repay. And again, the Lord will judge his people. It is a terrifying thing to fall into the hands of the living God. What I want to pull out there is this simple reality. If you reject Christ, who is the provision that pays for our sin, look back at the Old Testament reality of those who were slain under the law and think this thought: I'm going to suffer way worse.
Eternally.
Yeah.
Eternal conscious torment before the presence of the Lamb, and the smoke of their torment goes up forever, right? Melito of Sardis says this of Christ: this is the Pascha of our salvation. This is the one who in many people endured many things. This is the one who was murdered in Abel, tied up in Isaac, exiled in Jacob, sold in Joseph, exposed in Moses, slaughtered in the Lamb, hunted in David, dishonored in the prophets, who was hanged on a tree, who was buried in the earth, who was raised from the dead, who was exalted to the heights of the heaven. This is the Lamb slain. This is the speechless Lamb. This is the one taken from the flock, led to the slaughter, who was sacrificed in the evening, buried at night, and was not broken on the tree, and was not undone in the earth, who rose from the dead and resurrected humankind from the grave below. That's why we talk about the gospel being the whole scriptures. Christ is in there. I think Augustine said the Old Testament is Christ concealed and the New Testament is Christ revealed. We have to view it that way. When we look at the glory of the gospel, we're looking at the glory of Jesus Christ.